Hello everyone. Let's say you want to take a list as an input from the user. Okay. So one way is you ask the user how many elements are there, and then you will run a for loop, and of course before this you will have to initialize an empty list. Let's say L1 is equal to an empty list, and inside the for loop, which will run as many times as the user has entered the number of elements to be, and inside that you will every time you will say, let's say if temp is a temporary variable I create for each element, and assuming it is an integer list, or if it is a number list I will just say eval. Okay, so eval uh, input, enter the element. Let's say for example this message is again optional. Okay, you can simply just write input without this message. It will still take the input. This message is only for the help of the user to understand what exactly is the interpreter expecting. Why is it waiting for input? What exactly it is expecting as input. Anyway, so now this element will be added to the list. To add elements to the list, we use append. Okay, so li dot append temp. This is one way. Okay, so we can run this. Let's say as if there are 5 elements in the list, it will ask me this question 5 times. 1, 2.5, minus 3, 0, and because it is eval, so why not? I can also put some mathematical expression. Okay, and then I can display the list. I can check the contents of the list. Okay, 1, 2.5, minus 3, 0, and 4 plus 56 evaluated to 60. Another way, a more elegant way, is using split method. Okay, so now what you will do is you can first take the input from the user and then split it based on, so if I say L2 directly equal to input, enter the only thing is you have to specify what separator are you using to separate the elements of the list. Okay, so in this case let's say I say separated by commas, separated by commas. Okay, then I will use the split function, and inside the split function I will give comma as the separator. If I just expect the elements to be separated by spaces instead, I will specify nothing here. But I indeed, let's say in this case I want the elements to be separated by commas, so I will do this. Now after this, input is a string, and dot split will give you a list of strings. Okay, you know what, we can just try this. We can just run this and just see. Okay, so let's say I enter some elements 1, 2, minus 3, 4.4, and 100. Okay, there is no limit on how many elements. I can enter any number of elements every time. So I did not ask number of elements, then run the loop. That is not needed. Now if I just display this list, okay, It contains 1, 2, minus 3, 4.400 as strings, as you can tell by the quotes around them. So now I have to convert these into numbers. So I will have to use eval. Okay, I want to apply eval to every element of the list. So this can be done in two ways. One is using map and another is using list comprehensions. So let's say I use map. Okay, so what do I want to map? I want to map every element of the list L2 to the function eval. So eval is the name of the function and it will be applied to every element of the list L2. Now this map has to be converted to a list. Otherwise this is just a map object. So this will be converted to list and I will assign it to, let's say, L3. So now L3 will contain all my numbers all as numbers rather than strings. Okay, and I will also display L3, so I will also get to know how it looks. So it looks correct. All the numbers are converted into numbers. All the numeric strings are converted into numbers. So now this is using map. Another way is using list comprehension. So for list comprehension, okay, it will be enclosed in square brackets because it's a list comprehension. What function do you want to apply to every element of the list? Eval. So let's say every element of the list is x. So eval x for x in L2. Okay, this is the list comprehension and I assign it to the list, let's say L4. Okay, and I display L4. I check what L4 is. It is exactly the same thing.